What's your experience been with police chiefs of the past here?
Good. I remember Chief Fields, Chief Hudgens, Chief Propster, and I were colleagues. Got along okay. Yeah, we worked very closely with the police department all the time. In fact, before they built the Civic Center, the police department and the building department were all crammed into a little stucco building on 162nd Street side by side, just a little one-story building, police department, building department, about a 50-foot gap of lawn, and then the fire department. And whenever the police department had a lineup, they would run over to the fire station and ask a couple of firemen to stand in the lineup. And a couple of times I did. Of course, we were dressed in dungarees and a t-shirt like you caught me today, and we would go and stand in the lineup while the women or whoever was came in and pointed out the rapist or whatever. And one day I heard through the double mirror, it's the guy second from the end. Well, there were four of us, and I was second from one end, and somebody else was second from the other end. And I thought, oh, this is good. She says, it's the guy second from the end, and I came home and told my wife, and she said, are you crazy? I said, I'm never going to do that again. I said, somebody's going to see me on the street. So there's a guy on the lineup. So, and I think it was kind of funny. The cops would get three firemen in there with dungarees and T-shirts, and the crook standing there looking different than any of us, and asking the person which one's the bad guy. So I didn't stand any more lineups. Let them get their own guys.
One of the main drags through town is Gardena Boulevard. At one time, kind of the hub of the city.
Yeah, it was. It was the middle of downtown, right? And it's still very active. It's changed a lot. Giuliano's down there is the big attraction. The bank used to be there on the corner, and one of the biggest stores was down there on the corner. Yeah, it was. My brothers owned a bike shop. Stephen Floyd owned a bike shop down there. The real estate office that I worked in was right down there. It was the hub, yeah, right. And quiet as it could be, shoot a cannon through there after 5 o'clock and on weekends. It's not that way now.
I'd like to hear a bit more about the Watts riots and your experience.
Well, I was a fireman, and we were just shocked and mortified and even afraid. I mean, you'd come out and you'd see columns of smoke going up, and National Guardsmen around, and National Guard set up a perimeter around Gardena. Over in El Segundo in Vermont was the perimeter. I think I was the fire inspector at the time. For the first time in my life, I drove around the city car with a big rusty old 45 sitting in the seat. People were afraid. Let's see, and then the second riot when I was chief. Well, they had baby burn signs all over the place, and you didn't know what to expect. They were attacking some of the businesses up at the north end of town. I'm getting the two riots mixed up because the second riot also was pretty bad. That was rather interesting too. We had National Guard here then, and I asked the National Guard to back us up because they were shooting at firemen, and they didn't have anybody to back us up, and so we just had to drive around. And there was I was the chief at that time, and they set fire and looted a liquor store not too far from the Normandy Club down there, and it was growing dusk, and the building was burning. I went over there, and the firemen were putting out the fire, and I was standing out in the middle of the street with my nice white coat and white hat on, big target out there with a flare, directing traffic around the hoses. And about that time we got another call from another fire up in the north end of town. Pick and Save was burning, so the guys were picking up their hose, and we had to pick up and go over there. And the cops were up there, but there were gunshots around, and what are the cops going to do? They were standing by their cars, and we were in there trying to put out the fire. It was scary. It was scary. None of us got hurt, but I told my wife I was scared spitless a couple of times, especially standing out there, because people were driving by just shooting people just for the hell of it. And I don't know who was doing all the shooting, but there was a lot of shooting going on.